drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never, so why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate.
All right, welcome back to the show. For those of you viewing, you can see Sergeant Henry in the studio with me. For those of you listening, welcome once again. And in the studio with me is Sergeant Henry. Good morning to you, Sergeant Henry.
Good morning, Jiki, and how are you?
I am good, thank you. What about you?
I am great.
All right, awesome.
Yes.
Now, for listeners, I have been promoting Dr. Dwayne Archibald to be here on the show with us this morning. I just learned, though, unfortunately, he had to go to the hospital for an emergency with the family matters. So I do extend my concerns to Dr. Dwayne Archibald and hope that everything will be okay and should be okay. Thank you for agreeing to be with the program, and we'll schedule to have Dr. Dwayne Archibald on the program maybe next week, God's spare. However, though, we will have a show, and as usual, we'll open the lines after we hear from Sergeant Henry. And the number or numbers to call, you pick one and use any one that you choose or you prefer. 465-6120, 465-1903, and lastly, 662-8674. Those are the numbers. And just before the lines open, I'll repeat them again. Sergeant Henry, over to you.
Good morning to the listening audience, and I want to wish everybody a happy new year and all the best for 2025. I know last year was a trying time for us, especially for the traffic department. We have never seen so many fatalities in 1 year. And I know last year it was very hectic. I hope 2025 will be a different turn for St. Kitts and Nevis, especially when it comes to accidents, traffic accident and road fatality. Last year we had 1,345 accidents. That's only in St. Kitts. Nevis had 436. Unfortunately, we had, out of that, 8 were fatals. And out of the 8, it was 13 persons who lost their lives. Even one is too many. When you talk about 13, that was too many. Nevis had none, thanks be to God. But St. Kitts had 13 persons lost their life. And I can say those fatalities were the cause of speeding. I always talk about speeding. Yes, once you have excess speed in that vehicle, you cannot control it. Especially if there's something ahead of you and you have to stop. Sometimes you don't have time to break up. You just have to go straight into what you're coming into. And speeding can kill. Even if it doesn't result in a fatality, the impact of a speeding car crashing into another vehicle make the collision much worse. If a speeder hit a pedestrian, bicyclist, or a motorcyclist individual with no intention, or someone who have no protection around them, the accident is more likely to prove tragic than if the driver were obeying the speed limit. And I always talk about obeying the speed limit. As we know, the speed limit in St. Kitts and Nevis in a built-up area is 20 miles. In a non-built-up area is 40. Yes, nowhere in St. Kitts is far. No way. I heard Jiki talk about Monday. The traffic lights are there for us to have patience. It's telling us to be patient. And once you can be patient in where you're going, we can reduce a lot of these accidents. Not only fatality accident, but persons are so close up under each other that when time to brake, they do not have enough time to stop. So we have a lot of these non-injuries accidents also. Last year we had 1345, as I said. Yes, we had less than 2023, but still, one too much is too many. Once you're a courteous driver and you have patience, we can reduce these accidents for 2025. Yes, we had one already for the year, and unfortunately, it was an infant. Again, speeding. Why persons have to speed? Yes. Why?
I know you mentioned speeding, Sergeant Henry. Are there other factors involved after investigation about these accidents? Like, for example, were they focused? Were they distracted? Was it someone had a bad feeling and passed away? Not passed away, but
Passed out.
passed out behind the steering wheel? You know, what are some of the other factors
No,
involved?
you know. Sometimes person will be speeding, but they are so distracted. Something distract their attention. Yes, and once you're distracted when you're driving and you're speeding, yes, a lot of things can happen. No, we never had none where nobody block out and cause no fatality. No,
Car malfunction, anything like that?
no.
Wow.
And then sometimes when you speed, you don't even have time to stop, so you don't have any tire impression. So you know it was right upon you, so you just have to hit whatever.
Collide.
Yes.
What about what from your end, the traffic end? What measures are you putting in place to help curtail some of these accidents, fender benders, these tragic accidents on the road? Any measures?
The same thing that we are doing. We're going out, we're doing our mobile patrol, we're doing our VCPs. And one thing, when we are doing our VCPs, that's the thing I can't understand. You're doing your speed, your VCP, and you clock somebody. Oh, sometimes not even it's the driver who is arguing, it's the passengers are arguing with the police. Oh, why y'all don't look for the criminals? Okay. Oh, I'm late for work. If you leave on time, don't leave 10 minutes and you have to go to work for 8. So you don't have to speed. You have enough time to drive moderate and get there. So when the police are out there doing the speed checks and you have to stop them, they are making noise. Oh, y'all just want to put money in the government pocket. No, we are trying to prevent things like these. It's not that we want to ease your ticket. We educate. We educate. Sometimes we go out and we educate persons. It's not just about ticketing persons. We educate them about the speed limit and what can happen.
But from what you're saying, you're getting a pushback from the society.
Sometimes. Not most of the time, but sometimes. Now these things are happening, persons are talking out. Yes. This is what the police should do. Because they see one too much. One is too many. So when the police go out there and they are doing these things, I'm asking the motorists to comply. And not only to comply because you see the police, because sometimes you're doing it, and you see the police, you cut down. And as soon as you pass the police, they're gone again.
I asked this question yesterday to the fire officers because you know they're ones who report to the scene
Yes.
if there's a tragic accident, right? Are there high risk areas in St. Kitts and Nevis as it relates to these traffic accidents, these tragic accidents? Do we have high risk areas, so to speak?
Not as fast, no.
Okay. Poor road or road conditions, is it contributing to
I
that
wouldn't
as
say
well?
poor road conditions because these accidents are happening in places where there are good roads, from my point of view. Look at the one on F.T. Williams Highway. Yes, the road was just resurfaced. Yes, person are talking about no marking is in the road. We know we drive on our left. And then person as you know the road is wide, some person gonna overtake on your right, some person gonna overtake on your left. And we know you overtake on your right. Because if that person have to pull off for anything on the left and you are overtaking, you're in default.
Okay. 465-6120, 465-1903. Sergeant Henry, let's hear from our callers. Good morning, you're live. All right, I don't think it's the caller end, I think it's our end, but I'll keep trying until we get a connection. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, Chico.
Hey, good morning.
Morning, Miss Henry.
Good
Happy
morning,
New Year.
Good morning, Jam. I'm fine.
GQ,
Yes, ma'am.
Sophie just said something there, and it captured me. Sophie, let me show you something. The traffic supposed to going into an education drive, handing down from the commissioner of police. And look, it should be more than that. When you are doing speed checks and these people with these kind of talk, once they're wrong, summon them. I mean, this is not joking business, you know. The government got to make money, and they got to save lives. The drivers have to save lives. All of a sudden, when you're watching, is youngsters just, when people who ain't got license on the road, sitting nonsense and talk, they're busting bad word. But they fling something in them, you know, because I'm afraid of them, you know, this thing has to stop, and police have to make it stop. Police got to be a big part of it. Some men and the government, them happy fellows down Church Street, they also got to put laws in place. Now every Monday you can listen, Sophie come here and talk about people driving young ones without proper seatbelt and carriers. And look what happened. This thing ain't working out. Because I'm telling you, you know, you're going to get tit for tat. Have a good morning. This jam not talking. We don't want face. They born here. And you got to go right.
Sergeant, any response to Jamdong?
I agree with what he said. Yes. Don't watch no face. And also sometimes when the persons are going on, you just do what you have to do. Because first thing, they are not the one who behind the wheel. And they must remember they have a life to save. You're not the one behind the wheel. So when we are talking to the drivers, and then there's also something about obstruction. So once we're dealing with someone and you're talking and you're cross over and whatever, you can be summoned for obstruction and also be arrested.
Well, I thought. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, you're live.
Hey, GQ, good morning.
Hey,
Sergeant, good morning.
Good morning.
Right, to the general public, good morning again. You know, a couple things cross my mind, right? If I want to point, secure the age, right, to get a license. Let young people, because I could tell you, I sure most of those accidents that you read out that we had in the Federation last year was due to young people. Right? But then you still need, I tell you this is like driving without due care and attention. That is one thing that the government that gives people the idea the paper. I got something or the other. I may remember what the act number was that whatever the case may be. Driving without due care and attention, because most people want to drive, they want to call out to their friend, they want to do this, they want to be on phone and whatever the case may be. And not paying attention. What? You want to pass a vehicle, but yet you're in a log here, or whatever the case may be. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't hustle. In terms that yes, I don't drive a little fast now and again. Mayfair to say, I'm human, right? But I still wouldn't then allow me one thing I always to pay attention to. Before I do certain things. Now we got young people coming up. They might ain't really exercise towards this. Oh, I'm going to get my license when I'm 19. Yes, I feel good that I get my license. But still, you have no experience in driving. Right? They feel that when they're with their friends and whatever the case may be, they can mash them a little fast. Right? But yet you can't hold the steering wheel. Right? You have to practice all the time. Just like how I insurance and ask you, how much years experience you have before they can put on your name and the insurance. Right? Children, you're all out there when you're like teenagers, let me say teenagers. Y'all take all your time because y'all still need the little experience. Right? one of the things that really cause my mind is to cut up the age, you know, make some kind of the age. Somehow, I think the 18 and 18.
18.
18, you have to cut up a little bit. Cut up, let people mind, like, you know, start to develop. Because one mind develops when they reach the age of 26. Like, okay then, 18, you reach 20, you can start to try to get life. And your mind getting there to be developed. You can look at life differently now when you reach them kind of age. By a sooner this, a sooner that, however the case may be. Right? But that's something to think about. I mean, yes, people do speed. It may say it's all speed kill people. Some people don't really try to prevent accidents. But it's driving. It's a joke here and attention because everybody wants to do this. Everybody wants to do that. And you know, one of the things that I want traffic department and the police force in one thing to do. You got a lot of people that drive and want to carry them. Many capers with foot. You got a lot of people that drive and they want to carry the children in school and so on. They got the children standing up in the middle console. So I need to done with that. Put out the children in car seat. That is what they law about. And this is one thing. It's hard to hit when a truck is in an accident because what? When the position of the truck was not whatever the case will be. Now, the people in authority need to put down their foot on that. You all need to put down on your foot. Don't with this stupidness. So that more friendship or whatever the case may be. Somebody got children, one thing and for the crossing guard, right? But the sit down there and they go. We don't feel like we come down there and they go, so now I'm going to give it. They got to sit down there waiting for action and they was so bad.
Alright, we lost Granny. Good morning, your life.
Good morning, Brother GQ.
Hey, good morning, man.
Good morning, traffic advisor. I
Good
don't care
morning.
because something like that.
Sergeant Henry.
Henry. Good morning, Miss Henry. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
I would like to inject my. Yes, it is too many accidents. Foolishly. And if that is accident that they're causing death. And police
Caller, for whatever reason, right? You can probably hear us, but we're not hearing you. What we're hearing from you is up, it. So,
okay.
so we.
And I'm hearing. Hey, do you all have a number to call in on WhatsApp?
We have WhatsApp, but WhatsApp, we can't get WhatsApp live on the board.
Okay. Could you hear me from right here where I spoke just now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. All right. I was saying far too many accidents are men. They're causing immediate death. So these accidents.
For whatever reason, sir, for whatever reason, respectfully, we'll move on to the next call. Appreciate you calling in, but for whatever reason, when you start to elaborate on your point, the call is not coming through clearly. Let's take this call. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, GQ.
Hey, good morning, man.
And good morning, Sergeant Henry. Happy New Year to you.
Good morning, thank you, same to
Yeah,
you.
and as usual, thanks for always coming every Monday when you can and educating the general public.
Wednesday.
I totally agree with Granny with what is going on the road. Some drastic measures need to be made in relation to the laws. The government need to step down because we cannot afford to be having all these accidents and the loss of life. You know what I mean? As Granny say, there's a difference between, I always say, between driving fast and driving reckless. Two different things. And what I realize too, a lot of persons are waiting too late to leave their home to get to work and expect to get on time. If you're late, you can't late twice. Bottom line. So you cannot live in Sandy Point and leave 7:30 minutes to 8 and expect to reach Bastia by 8 o'clock. It's impossible based on the number of vehicles that are on the road. So you have to take a lot of things into consideration. You have to make up your mind to get up a little earlier and factor in all of these things before you go on the road and you drive this way. And I said reckless because as I say, it's a big difference. Fast and reckless is two different things. some person are trying to pass people around corners, blind corners, that make no sense. Because at the end of the day, the life you save could be your very own. So, yeah, and it's heartbreaking, real heartbreaking to see a small federation, and we had so many deaths last year. Last year was really, it was crucial, it was critical. You know, I mean, I could imagine how the families I can't imagine, how they're operating, being in mind. You know what I mean? The person would have leave, and sometimes, you know what I mean, you leave home, but you don't know what can transpire during the course of the day. Sergeant Henry, while I'm on the line, calm. GQ, what's the guy name again?
Bucky.
Bucky wanted some update, not update, but some enlightenment in relation to the roundabout there by the clock. So maybe you can give us some guidelines in relation, because I have the opinion what Granny said make a lot of sense. If you're coming across from Bank Street, you're basically in the roundabout, but maybe the line, the marking need to be put in place properly, because a lot of people come from to the bottom of that street. Yeah, and they just feel like because there is no line, automatically they are in the right way. So sometimes you have a lot of confusion, and that is something need to be sorted out. So maybe while you're on the air, you can give us some clarity, and then what can be done is to get the marking so person will have a better understanding. Thank you for listening. You all have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With the roundabout, you know, we always give way to traffic on our right. If you're coming from the bottom of 4th Street and you're heading up 4th Street, or even around to Bank Street, you have to give way to the traffic that is coming from Liverpool Road. No, sorry. You're coming up 4th Street. The person on Liverpool will have to give way to you because they're on your right.
And vice versa. You have to give it to the traffic coming
from Bank Street.
Right.
So it's always give way to traffic from your right when you're traveling in a roundabout. Yes, the marking is so, what I must say, it is, yes, it's okay for the marking because it'll be easier for persons. But once you're traveling in a roundabout, you always give way to traffic on your right. So the persons who are coming from across Liverpool must give way to persons coming from down on 4th Street.
Got you. Before we move on, take any more calls. Question coming in. What is a VCP?
A vehicular checkpoint.
Okay. Good morning, your life.
Good morning, GQ.
Hey, good morning, Sugar.
Sergeant Henry.
Good morning.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, sir.
Yeah, I think they're by your face, you know. You ain't out clear, man. You need a just cross the chair, let GQ that thing there. Thank you.
Come across some more.
This is Sugar.
Sugar, I want to see you.
Condolences to you.
Thank you, Sugar.
And the one I had a brother die.
Yes.
A fat boy?
Well, no any time for that, Sugar. We can talk in one on one.
Okay, then, okay. All right. I'll leave it to you, sir.
Good morning, your life.
Yes, good morning. Morning, Sergeant Henry. And
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you and your family.
Yeah, sure. Now, I heard you mention earlier about passing on the left-hand side, and that is on I think the FT William Highway you're speaking about, right?
Yes, sir.
What about coming down on the factory road there? Because I see you all have some marking out there. Coming down from the airport down to the end of the factory.
You're talking about going down to...
From the electricity department, there's a power station coming down the road.
Oh, you're talking about on Needmus?
On the Needmus Road, yeah.
Okay, yes, sir.
I see a marking out there, and I'm wondering if people can pass on the left-hand side.
No, sir. That is a pull-off or hard shoulder, as we say. If something happens to your vehicle, you pull off there.
Well, the reason why I asked that, right, I know people just pass people there. And when I hear you mention, I know it was on the FT Williams Highway you're speaking about. So that is why I call in to find out. Because I know people just pass people on the left-hand side there, even though it's marked out. And I was saying that is for pull-off in my estimation as a driver. You know, so I want people to understand that as well. You know, you come on the radio every Wednesday and you share these good thoughts about traffic and so on. I often wonder if there is enough people listening to these programs, seeing that we have so many accidents. And to me, accident again, I don't know if you're gonna agree with me or not, but accident to me in terms of a vehicle having some problems. These vehicles don't have no problem, so you just running into people, and I really ain't consider that as accident. I consider that as careless driving. I mean, you the person who speaks about traffic and so on, but I consider traffic accident as something different. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
All right, that's going to be your final one, but go ahead. I'll let you respond.
Yes, sir. It's an accident, but when they charge a person, you charge them for driving without due care and attention, careless driving.
Okay.
It's an accident because injuries were involved or damage were involved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a traffic accident, and then you'll be charged for either due care and attention, dangerous driving, reckless driving.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sergeant Henry, for being here this morning. Thanks to everyone who called in and shared your point of view and asked your question. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, right here on ZZ Radio.